All right, so I just did a review on the 1906As over on my channel. Absolutely love this pair. If you guys want to check out that video, go ahead, subscribe, check out my video on those. This video is going to be on a New Balance Fresh Foam X 880 V15. That is crazy. This is 15 versions of the New Balance 880. And thank you to New Balance for sending this pair over for review. This was by personal request. I saw that they had the new version. Shout out to you guys actually mentioned that they had a new version of the 880 V15s. I saw tons of comments asking for a review of them. And so to you guys, this video is for you. But thank you New Balance for sponsoring the content. Again, they sent me the shoes and are sponsoring the video, but they don't dictate anything I say about the product in the video. It's just my own personal experience. Anyways, if you guys are interested in buying the New Balance Fresh Foam X 880 V15, the latest and greatest versions, I will link them in the description of the video. Take you right over to New Balance and you can buy your own. And greatly appreciate when you guys do that. New Balance sees when you guys buy the pairs from my channel, and it supports me directly when you guys do that. So some quick information about these. They retail at $140, and the fit is true to size in my opinion. I wear 9.5, and the 9.5 fits me just perfectly fine. However, they do have wide and extra wide versions of this model. If you have a wider foot and you need that extra width, New Balance has always got you on that. They have so many awesome pairs with wide versions. As for the description, it says, this everyday cushioned road runner has a breathable and structured engineered mesh upper for ultimate comfort and all-day wearability. Small details make a run enjoyable. The Fresh Foam X 880 has long stood for trusted reliability. This latest version aims to provide the model's most comfortable running experience yet, with a higher midsole that allows for more cushioning. Fresh Foam X midsole foam with approximately 3% bio-based content delivers our most cushioned Fresh Foam experience for incredible comfort. It has a structured yet breathable upper and weighs 10.7 ounces for a men's size 9. Has a 6 mm heel toe drop. Now I do have some pros and cons that I want to cover for you guys in this video. I also do have a couple other pairs that I can just briefly talk about and compare to. The ones that I have out here, this is the 860 V14. I also have the 880 V14 and the 880 V14 Gore-Tex version, and then I also do have the 1080 V14. So right off the bat, is this like similar to the 1080 V14s? I would say yes and no. It's kind of like an in-betweener of the 880 V14s and the 1080 V14s. Like this is a firmer version of the 1080 V14s, but also a little bit of a softer version than the 880s. That's why I say it's kind of like the middle child in a sense, because this version of the 880 is actually the most cushioned out of all of the 880s, so the most cushioned out of all 15 of those, but it is not as soft and squishy as the 1080 V14. It might be surprising to you guys to know that, because if you look at the foam stacks side by side, you get a pretty nice heaping helping of Fresh Foam X in the 880s. But I will tell you, the Fresh Foam compound on these two are completely different. This is a much firmer Fresh Foam X on the 880s versus the 1080s. The 1080s cost $165 at retail, these ones being $140. That's not necessarily the reason why they're different, because I feel like you get a great product in the 880s, but the 1080s are just kind of like that softer, springier, more like responsive, I guess, cushioning comparison to the 880s. And this is coming from someone that's tried on a ton of different shoes. I started off with the 1080 V10s, and now we're on the 14s, and I had like the last 3 or 4 versions of the 880s. But if you're looking for softer, squishier, 1080s are still goated in my opinion. Now you do have the more V5s as well that are super, super good. But I don't want to get too like off track, because I could talk about this stuff for a super long time. Focusing down to the 880s though, this is softer than the previous version, but it's not crazy soft and squishy. So going right into some of the pros, this is similar to the 880 V14, but it is just a little bit softer on feet. The positive about this is if you're a big fan of the 880 V14s, I feel like this is going to be like the next evolution of that. Again, the foam is very ample, but it's not so crazy soft and squishy that you feel like you're just bouncing around. It's good amount of cushioning, and it's more of like the intended purpose of the Fresh Foam X, where it's kind of like the softer landing, and then you kind of bounce off. It's not like the crazy responsiveness that you get from like the fuel cell and stuff like that. And I'm speaking about like the Rebel V4s from New Balance, where it's like the softer and springier foam. That foam is made to go fast. The Fresh Foam X is typically made to be like, the absorption, to absorb like the impact and stuff for when you're running around. And I feel like this is like a great version of the 880 in a sense where you're able to just be able to wear these every day. So it's a very wearable pair that they've created and just kind of improved upon with a larger stack of cushioning, but not done in such a way that it's going to alienate you from the model. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to alienate you from the model if you are a fan of the traditional feel of the 880s. I feel like, again, this is just going to be a nice small evolution, but it's not so soft and squishy that it's going to be too much of a turnoff for some of you guys. Some people think that the 1080s are too soft and squishy. I don't think you're gonna feel the same way on the 880s. Next pro for me is the fact that it doesn't have too crazy of a rocker sensation. It's a very wearable pair for walking and just kind of standing around and stuff. And I say that because as a casual commando out there, like sometimes you don't want the ones that are so incredibly like rocky that feels like you're gonna like spring off your toe. You know, the carbon fiber runners and stuff like that, not necessarily for myself, for the most part, for what I use them for. So I like that this kind of matches where my energy is with the casual side, where you're able to walk in these. And it does have really nice stability as well, considering it has such a high stack of foam, which is the other pro that I wanted to mention. The fact that you have kind of a wide base on here makes this like a very stable option, even though, again, it's kind of like so weird where we're at with sneakers, because it's like, dude, look at the stack of foam, it's huge. But I don't feel like I'm gonna roll an ankle in these. They've engineered them really well, so you feel very stable. Now, if you want a more stable version, they do have the 860s. That is kind of like the 880 with more stability, as you could see, kind of implanted in the middle of the shoe. The 860 V15s, I'm sure, will be coming out eventually, but the 14s are excellent as well. So those that want the extra stability, they have them. But I feel like the stability is just naturally good in this model. Which another thing I think is actually really good on this is the traction on the bottom of the shoes. You do have quite a bit of traction, and it's very thick and it's a nice rubber traction. And then it curves around and makes a nice little horseshoe on the back section, but very good traction for those that need the extra durability. I feel like that does add to the weight a little bit, but it is what it is. It definitely is like a racehorse pair of sneakers, and you need like good traction for that. The other thing I wanted to mention is I actually like the cushioning on the heel and the tongue of this one over the previous version. It's just a little bit softer, a little bit more plush feeling around the tongue as well as on the collar of the shoe. And considering you're adding the kind of the stack height to the shoe as well, it just adds to like an all around nice plush premium feeling on your feet when you're walking around or running around. And the last pro, in my opinion, is just the price point. The fact that this is $140 is a solid deal. If you're looking for a one-stop shop, like one comfortable pair that's not too soft, that has like good structure, stability, and everything else. I did a video on that really recently as well. This is just an awesome pair for those people that want like just a little bit more structure than the soft squishiness of the 1080s, like I mentioned, or some of the other max cushion sneakers out there. I feel like this is like cushioned, but like not super, super crazy. Because of that, it makes it a little bit more functional and something that you can just wear every day. And leave a comment in the comment section if you guys have the 880s historically, or if you tried the 880 V15s. Am I telling the truth or not? Let other people know like your opinions, because this is just my personal opinion. You guys have different opinions maybe, or maybe you guys agree, but feel free to leave those comments in the comment section and let other people know your experience, because your comments and your replies and stuff are important, and other people should be able to see them if you have good feedback for them. So moving on to some of the cons, I will say they are a little bit heavier. They're about an ounce heavier than the previous version. So if you're looking to slim down the model, it's not super awesome to have these over that 10 ounce like threshold, it seems like nowadays for a lot of running sneakers. These are about 10.7. So they're slightly a bit above the 10 ounce like line that I usually like to have for a runner. But at the end of the day, like, you know, it is what it is. You have like more foam and you have a nice amount of traction, and it's not like you feel like they're heavy on your feet by any means, but it is just noteworthy that they do weigh just a little bit less than the previous version. And other than that, I would just say maybe the overall look isn't like the most appealing, at least to somebody like myself. This one, again, doesn't appeal maybe to the younger generation yet. Like I said, I'm picturing that like that couple married in Arizona, like doing their final world tour as they're kind of like retiring and whatnot. That's the vibes I get from this, which is not a bad thing. That population is growing every day. However, I do like the looks of like the fuel cell line a lot better. And I've said it many times. I love the Rebel V4s. It's probably my favorite looking new shoe from last year. New Balance shoe as well, just made to go faster. It's lighter, it's like more breathable, it's sleek. The price points are roughly the same as this. So for me personally, if I'm gonna spend only $140 or so on a pair and I have the choice between the Rebel V4s or these, my personal choice is gonna go to the fuel cell Rebel V4s, just again, because I love the overall look and they're also very comfortable. These, however, I say are the better option for somebody that wants a more functional, comfortable, like all day, every day sort of comfortable pair. I feel like you're not gonna go wrong with this shoe. Like you're gonna get in and you're gonna go, okay, yeah, I really enjoy that. And the fact they have wide versions in these as well is a plus. They have the wide in the Rebels as well, but this is a really solid option for those people looking for this type of comfort. If you want softer and squishier, again, I would go with the 1080 V14s. I also like the Balos, which is like a $200 runner. That is just super good on feet as well. But for the best all-around standard issue sort of pair like these are like, this is top of the class from like any brand out there for what they're creating in this exact sort of space. Anyways, if you guys are interested in buying the New Balance Fresh Foam X 880 V15, I'll link them again in the description. Please use the links if you guys end up purchasing it. Greatly appreciate it when you guys do that. And then also, if you guys want to see the video on the 1906As over on my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, follow over there. I appreciate y'all for stopping in and watching. You guys rock. And thank you, New Balance, for sponsoring the content. Much, much appreciated as always. And hopefully we'll see you guys back on the channel for some more content very soon. All right, peace, guys.